I was driving back from a wedding in Ohio, alone, around 1 a.m., and the highway was completely dead. No cars, no trucks, just me, the hum of my tires, and about 120 miles of empty road ahead. That's when I noticed something in my rearview mirror. A car. Following me, with no headlights on. It started maybe 10 miles outside of Canton. I remember because I just passed a rest stop and thought about pulling over for coffee, but I was making good time and didn't want to stop. The road was straight, flat, nothing but farmland on both sides. Visibility was perfect. Full moon, clear sky. And that's what made it so weird, because I could see this car behind me, maybe 100 feet back, just there. No headlights, no taillights, just a dark shape, like a shadow with mass. At first, I thought maybe it was a cop, running dark to catch speeders. But I wasn't speeding. I was doing maybe 68 in a 65, and the car didn't have that boxy look of a cruiser. It was smaller, sedan maybe. I couldn't tell the color, it was too dark, but I could see it. That's the part that didn't sit right. If the lights were off, I shouldn't have been able to see it at all. But I could. Clear as anything. I eased off the gas a little. Dropped down to 60. The car slowed too. Stayed the same distance behind me. I sped back up to 70. It sped up. Didn't close the gap. Didn't fall back. Just matched me. Perfectly? I told myself it was nothing. Maybe their headlights were busted and they were just trying to follow someone until the next exit. It happens, right? But we passed 2 exits, then a third, and the car was still there. That's when I started to feel it. That cold little knot in your stomach when something's wrong, but you can't explain why. I changed lanes, left to right. The car changed lanes. I moved back. So did it. I slowed down to 50, thinking maybe they'd just pass me and be done with it, but no. They slowed too. Stayed right there. Like they were tethered to me. My hands started sweating. I turned the radio off. I don't know why. Like I needed to hear better or something. But the silence made it worse. Just the engine, the wind, and that car, always in the mirror. I thought about calling someone, my brother, a friend, but what was I going to say? There's a car behind me? They'd tell me to pull over, let them pass. So I did. I put my blinker on, slowed way down, and eased onto the shoulder. Hazards on, engine still running. I sat there, watching the mirror, waiting for them to go around me. The car pulled onto the shoulder behind me and stopped. Engine off. No door opened. No one got out. I could see the outline of it sitting there, maybe 50 feet back, just waiting. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I reached for my phone, hands shaking, but before I could dial anything, I just thought, no, get out of here. No. I threw it back into drive and floored it. Gravel kicked up behind me as I peeled back onto the highway, and I watched the mirror like my life depended on it. The car didn't move for a second. Then, its engine turned back on. I didn't hear it, but I saw it lurch forward, and it was back on the road, right behind me. Same distance, no lights. I hit 80, then 85, then 90. I've never driven that fast in my life. The steering wheel was shaking in my hands, and I was gripping it so tight my knuckles went white. But the car didn't fall behind, not even a little. It stayed locked on me like it was on a string. I didn't know what to do. There were no exits, no gas stations, no other cars. Just empty highway and this thing that wouldn't leave me alone. I thought about crashing. I actually thought about swerving into the shoulder and bailing into a ditch just to get away from it. But I kept driving, foot slammed down, eyes flicking between the road and the mirror. The road, the mirror, the road. Then I saw lights ahead. A toll plaza, bright, busy, people. I nearly cried. I flew toward it, weaving between a semi and a minivan, and pulled into one of the manned booths, not the automatic lane, the one with a person inside. I slammed the brakes, threw it in park, and looked back. The car was gone. Not pulling off to another lane, not turning around, gone. Like it had evaporated. I sat there, chest heaving, staring at the empty road behind me. The toll worker leaned out of the window and asked if I was okay. I didn't answer. I just paid and sat there another 30 seconds, scanning every car in the lot. Nothing looked like it. Nothing felt like it. I didn't sleep that night. I kept seeing it in my head, that dark shape, the way it moved exactly when I moved, the way it stopped when I stopped. It didn't make sense. None of it made sense. 3 days later, I called the highway patrol. I told them everything. They were polite, but I could tell they thought I was paranoid or tired or something. Still, they said they'd pull the traffic cam footage from that stretch of road. I gave them the date, the time, the mile markers. They called me back a week later. The officer sounded confused. He said they reviewed the footage. All of it. From the moment I entered that stretch of highway to the moment I hit the toll plaza. And yeah, my car shows up. Clear as day, driving alone. But there was no other car. Not behind me, not in front of me, not anywhere. Just me. For 120 miles. I asked him to check again. He said they did. Twice. I was the only car on that highway that night. He asked if maybe I was tired, if maybe I had imagined it. I hung up. Because I didn't imagine it. I saw it. I watched it follow me for over 2 hours. I saw it stop when I stopped. I saw it move when I moved. And if it wasn't there, then what the hell was I looking at?
I was about 4 hours into an 8-hour drive when my GPS did something I'd never seen it do before. A message popped up across the screen in bold red text. Do not stop for pedestrian ahead. I stared at it for a second, trying to process what I was reading. I've used GPS for years, Google Maps, Waze, all of it, and I've never seen a warning like that. Traffic alerts, sure. Road closures, accidents, construction. But this was different. It didn't say pedestrian detected or caution. It said, do not stop, like a command. I was somewhere in the mountains of West Virginia, headed to a job interview in Virginia Beach. The highway was 2 lanes, winding through dense forest, no streetlights, no houses, nothing. My phone had lost signal about an hour back, but the GPS still worked. It was the only thing keeping me on track, and now it was telling me not to stop. The sky had been clear when I left, but storm clouds were rolling in fast. I could see lightning in the distance, flickering behind the trees. The air felt heavy, thick, like something was pressing down on the road. I kept driving, eyes flicking between the windshield and the GPS. The red warning stayed on the screen. And then, maybe 2 miles ahead, I saw it. A person, standing in the middle of the road. My stomach dropped. I eased off the gas, instinct kicking in. You see someone in the road, you stop. That's what you do. But the GPS alert flashed again, brighter this time. Do not stop for pedestrian ahead. The figure was just standing there, one arm raised like they were flagging me down. I couldn't see their face. The headlights were pointed right at them, but I couldn't make out any features. No expression, no eyes, just a silhouette. I slowed down more. My hands were shaking on the wheel. Something felt wrong, really wrong. The figure didn't move, didn't step to the side, didn't wave more urgently, just stood there, arm up, completely still. And that's when I noticed it. The light from my headlights, it wasn't reflecting off them. It should have. High beams, full blast, pointed right at a person in dark clothes. I should have seen details, fabric, skin, something. But it was like the light passed through them, like they weren't solid. I was maybe 50 feet away now. My foot hovered over the brake. Every part of me wanted to stop, to help. But that warning was still flashing, and something in my gut was screaming at me to listen to it. I swerved, hard to the left, into the oncoming lane. There was no one else on the road, hadn't seen another car in over an hour, so I didn't hesitate. I cranked the wheel and sped past the figure, my heart hammering in my chest. As I passed, I felt something. Not a sound, not a bump, just a brush. Like something had dragged along the side of my car, soft, cold. I looked in the rearview mirror, and the figure was still standing there. Hadn't turned, hadn't moved. Just standing there in the middle of the road, arms still raised, as I disappeared around the bend. I floored it. I didn't care about the speed limit. I didn't care about the curves. I just wanted to get as far away from that spot as possible. My hands were trembling so bad I could barely hold the wheel. The GPS warning finally disappeared, and I thought, okay, it's over. Just keep driving. But then, maybe 10 minutes later, I saw it again. Same figure, same posture, same raised arm, standing in the road ahead. I slammed on the brakes without thinking, and my car skidded to a stop maybe 30 feet away. My headlights were on them again, and just like before, no reflection, no detail, just a dark shape that didn't belong. It had been raining for the last few miles, pouring. The road was soaked. My windshield wipers were going full speed. But the figure was bone dry. Not a drop on them, like the rain wasn't touching them at all. I looked down at the GPS. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped my phone. The screen was glitching. Multiple red hazard icons were appearing, all stacked on top of each other, right where I was. A dozen warnings, all in the same spot. The map itself looked distorted, like it was breaking apart. I didn't swerve this time. I threw the car in reverse, tires squealing, and backed up as fast as I could. The figure didn't follow, didn't move, just stood there as I put distance between us. Then I cranked the wheel, pulled a U-turn, and went back the way I came. I didn't care that I was going the wrong direction. I didn't care that it would add 2 hours to my drive. I just needed off that road. I drove until I hit a gas station with lights and people and noise. I sat in the parking lot for 20 minutes, hands still on the wheel, trying to breathe, trying to convince myself I'd imagined it, but I hadn't. I knew I hadn't. The next morning, after I'd found a different route and made it to my interview, I looked it up. I searched for accidents on that highway, disappearances, anything, and I found it. 7 years ago, a man was struck and killed by a semi-truck on that exact stretch of road. He'd been trying to flag down cars for help after his own vehicle broke down. The truck driver didn't see him in time, hit him at full speed. The article said he died instantly. It gave a description: tall, dark jacket, one arm raised. The location matched, down to the mile marker. I don't know what I saw that night. I don't know if it was him or something else, or if that road is just cursed. But I do know one thing. My GPS tried to warn me, and I'm never ignoring a warning like that again.
I was halfway through a midnight drive back from my sister's place when I hit a detour. Road construction, orange signs, flashing arrows, the whole setup. The highway split, and a lit-up sign said, "All traffic exit here." So I did. Everyone did. Maybe a dozen cars, all funneling off onto this side road I'd never noticed before. At first, it seemed normal. Just a temporary route around whatever they were fixing. But then my GPS started glitching. The screen flickered, and instead of rerouting me, it just showed a gray void where the map should have been. At the top, in small letters, it said, "No data." I'd never seen that before, not even in the middle of nowhere. I looked around. The other cars were still with me. A sedan in front, an SUV behind, a pickup in the left lane. We were all moving together, like a convoy, but no one had planned it. And that's when I noticed. The road had no signs, no street names, no mile markers, nothing to tell me where I was or where I was going. The streetlights were spaced out, dim and yellowish, casting long shadows across the asphalt. The road itself was smooth, almost too smooth, like it had just been paved. But it felt wrong, too quiet. No engine noise from the other cars, even though I could see them clearly. No distant hum of the highway behind us. Just silence. I checked my speed. 55? I glanced at the car in front of me. Also 55. The one behind me. Same. We were all moving at the exact same speed, perfectly spaced, like we were on rails. I eased off the gas a little. Just to test it, dropped to 50. The car in front of me slowed too. So did the one behind. Same distance, same spacing, like they were matching me without even trying. My hands tightened on the wheel. I told myself it was just a coincidence. People follow the flow of traffic, that's normal. But this didn't feel normal. Nobody changed lanes, not once. I watched for maybe 10 minutes straight, and every car stayed exactly where it was. No one passed, no one merged. Just a straight line of vehicles, gliding forward in perfect formation. And no one was braking, not a single red light. We just moved, smooth and constant, like we were all being pulled by the same invisible thread. Then I saw one of the cars up ahead, a Honda, I think, start to slow down. It drifted toward the shoulder, easing to a stop near a patch of gravel. I thought maybe they had car trouble, a flat tire, something. I kept my eyes on it as I passed. The headlights were still on, engine probably running, but no one got out. No hazards, no door opening, just a car, sitting there, empty looking, while the rest of us kept going. That's when the fear really started to settle in. I looked at the car next to me, a blue minivan, driver's side facing me. I could see the person behind the wheel. Pale, staring straight ahead, hands at 10 and 2. Their face didn't move, didn't blink, didn't glance over, even though I was right there, just staring forward, like they were locked in place. I checked the rear view, same thing. The driver behind me, expressionless, eyes fixed on the road. The one ahead, same deal. All of them, motionless, driving but not there. And then I realized no one had used a turn signal. Not once. Not when we exited the highway. Not when someone slowed down. Not when we merged onto this road. Nothing. Just silent. Synchronized movement. My chest felt tight. I couldn't breathe right. I thought about honking, just to see if anyone would react. But something stopped me. Some instinct that said, don't. Don't draw attention. I looked at my GPS again. Still gray. Still no data. I tried my phone. No signal. Not even a single bar. I was completely cut off. That's when I made the decision. I wasn't following them anymore. I didn't care where this road went. I just needed off of it. I cranked the wheel hard to the right, tires bouncing as I veered off the pavement and into the grass median. My car jolted and skidded, and I spun it around in a clumsy, illegal U-turn, tearing through the dirt until I was facing the opposite direction. My headlights swept across the other lane, lighting up the cars I'd just been driving with. And they were gone. All of them. Every single car. The road behind me was completely empty. No taillights, no movement, just dark, silent asphalt stretching back into nothing, like they'd never been there at all. I sat there for a second, engine idling, heart pounding in my ears. Then I floored it. I drove back the way I came, faster than I should have, eyes darting to the rear view every few seconds. The road looked the same, but it felt different now, like I was escaping something. And then, maybe 5 minutes later, I saw it. The on-ramp. The highway. Real signs, real lights. Real cars with real people who changed lanes and tapped their brakes and acted like human beings. I merged back on and the tension in my chest finally started to ease. My GPS snapped back to normal, full map, full signal, like nothing had happened. I didn't stop driving until I got home. The next day, I checked my dash cam. I always have it running, front and rear, recording everything. I wanted to see that road again, to prove I wasn't losing it. I scrubbed through the footage frame by frame, looking for the moment I took the exit. It wasn't there. The recording skipped. 1 second I'm on the highway, normal traffic, normal everything. The next second, I'm back on the highway merging from an on-ramp. But the detour? The other cars? That empty road? Gone. Like I never drove it at all.